Were you surprised that you made it look so easy? I know all the training that goes into it, but it looked easy as we were watching it.
No, not at all. I wasn't remotely surprised. I understand how elite I am, and I understand the way that I'm training, traveling the world, growing, and just soaking up knowledge. I'm aware I'm doing it differently than to everyone basically. But there's a reason behind it. There's a method to the madness. And when you go in and you see my last two performances against ranked opponents, I knocked D-Rod out, who's never been knocked out before, with a head kick in 3 minutes. I go out there and I fought Neil Magny, the most winningest welterweight of all time, who's fought future champions, former champions, contenders, everyone. Nobody has gone out there and had a 30-24 against that guy. Do you understand that the last time we had a 30-24 was Khabib Barboza?
Incredible, right? One of the most dominating fights ever. That was obviously.
It was from look. Everyone keeps saying that Neil Magny took the fight on short notice. Guess who else took the fight on short notice?
You.
Me. Wonderboy had a weight issue with Michel Pereira. Said I'm not going to fight. Jack Della Maddalena had a pullout in Sean Brady. Fought a week later. Got 3 rounds of a fucking war against a guy who wasn't ranked. I went out there on 10 days' notice against the guy with the most wins in welterweight history and made it look like he's never fought before. That's the difference. This is the level that we're at. I am so intelligent in this game. And when I show up, I don't care who it's against, where it is in the world, I will find a way to win, and I will find a way to make it look easy.
Now let's talk about where you go from here. You've called your shot every time, Ian. You wanted Neil. It looked like you weren't going to get Neil, but then you ultimately got what you wanted. Funny how that worked out.
God works in mysterious ways, my friend.
Right? How funny is that? So now you're ranked 11th. You talked about Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, obviously incredible striker. Stephen has said he doesn't want to fight you. Are you still intent on fighting Wonderboy, or have you shifted your attention to someone else now?
No, the Wonderboy fight's going to happen. I have 100% faith. I think, to be absolutely honest, I think that's just a smart play from Wonderboy, saying he doesn't want it. Then you drive the price up at the UFC. You know, this kid's a new superstar coming up. I love Wonderboy. He's a friend of mine. I get along with him. He knows me. He knows my family. There's no malice towards Wonderboy. There is no aggression or anger or anything that I want to do, like, in regards to taking advantage of him. What I want to do is challenge myself against the best. And when we speak about the greatest strikers of all time, for me, when I think of it, Wonderboy absolutely, when it comes to the welterweight division, is that guy. You know what I mean? You can't be 57-0 in kickboxing, one of the greatest strikers in UFC history, and me not want to challenge myself against you, me not want to see, right, how good am I? Because if Wonderboy is one of the greatest of all time, and I believe I can beat him, let me go out there and show the world just how good I am. And look, it'll be an amazing fight. I believe it will happen. I believe that it absolutely will happen, for sure.
What has Dana said, Ian? It sounds like Dana is on board with it happening. Does the UFC? Is it their will that this thing happens too?
I can't speak about what other people want. So to say that all of the main guys in the UFC want this fight isn't something that I can sit here and say. Right. However, I did tell them I was going to call out Wonderboy before the fight. I said to you, I'm telling you now so you can get ready. I'm telling you now, I'm going to call out Wonderboy, and I want it for 5 rounds. Not for the fans. Can you imagine the 5 rounds of striking that me and Wonderboy could display for the UFC fans? In my mind, it's going to be one of the greatest striking displays we've ever seen. And I know we've seen some amazing striking displays, but the skill sets that I and Wonderboy possess, it's going to be a tactical chess match, and I believe it will happen. And I believe everybody wants to see that fight.
I think you're right. Everybody does want to see the fight. Now, location of the fight, there obviously is a card going down end of the year, Madison Square Garden, right? Conor possibly being on that card. I know how much you obviously looked up to him Is that where you'd want the fight to actually happen, Ian?
No, I haven't got a date in mind. Um,
Okay.
I said December just because I fought three times in 5 months. Like I'm active, I'm insanely active,
Yeah.
right? I want to run this back again. I want to go again. I love I'm a competitor at heart. I'm a competitor first and foremost. So to be able to go in and keep constantly going through the cycle of competing, press, media, get the fans excited, Ian's back again? No way. That's what I enjoy. So I don't mind when it is. I don't mind where it is. As long as Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is stood across that octagon and I know it's 170 pounds for 5 rounds, I'll sign any contract.
You've been so calculated. You've known what you wanted at every step of the way. Now you're 11, Steven's 7. If you were to look a little forward, Ian, do you fight Steven? And then is it, hey, I'm ready for a title shot? Is there more work to do? What do you think? How do you map this thing out in your head?
So I have been able to beat every style of opponent I've come up against, whether it be a striker, a wrestler, a guy who likes to, in Magny, who likes to kind of get in the clinch, whatever it is, with absolute ease. And I've only done it with a couple of weapons. That's how good I am. That's how good I've been able to be against these guys that are meant to be elite. I've not used a lot of weapons.
No.
So I have so much more to show the fan base and to build up hype and to generate this just excitement. And I believe I need to do it in a very different way. I believe I want to go out there and prove to the fans, prove to the UFC, everyone that's involved in the build-up to fights and the build-up of a career, how good I am. I believe that I have a lot of hype. I know that I have a lot of hype, and I've generated myself due to amazing performances. I go out there and I beat Wonderboy. That's 3 people I've beaten that are ranked. Yep. I go out there now and I've proven myself as the greatest striker in welterweight history by beating Wonderboy and taking that baton and now running forward with it. Then I start to fight the grapplers. Then I start to fight the wrestlers. I'll fight the Usmans. I'll fight the Kobes. I'll prove against 2 of the greatest in the division. I want to fight both of those guys. And I want to show them that I can beat both of them with ease. On the feet, wrestling, grappling, I can do it all. And I'm excited for that. So to be able to complete the striking checklist right now in my mind, which is Wonderboy at the top, and then deep dive into the grapplers and the wrestlers and the guys who are going to look to grind out fights, make it dirty, make it awkward. I want to show the world just how good I am in that department too. And I believe that they will be my next 3 to 4. Those 3 opponents, I'll have 4 more fights and there'll be 3 of them.
Wow. So Wonderboy, Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman.
Maybe 1 more in the mix there, depending on, logistics of the division. Right. But that's what I want. And I'm in no rush for a title. Also, I really, really like Leon Edwards. I've trained him. I get along with him. I see right now more advantage in being able to drive up to Birmingham 2.5 hours and learn and grow and train alongside Leon than I do thinking of Leon as an opponent.
Wow.
That's what I think. And I think there's so much I can learn from that man. I think he's phenomenal in every single aspect. And for me to be able to learn and grow with him, because you've got to understand, he is primarily a kickboxer, a striker with amazing takedown defense and stuffed underrated jiu-jitsu. I've gone with the guy. He's phenomenal.
Really?
I'm not in any way, shape, or form thinking about a title yet. In any way. I have at least probably 2 years before I'm going to fight for that belt in my mind.